My dear friends, you know what's real. That fire you feel right after watching a motivational video, reading a quote, or hearing someone say you can do this. It lights you up, makes you want to run through walls, makes you believe you're unstoppable. But let's be honest, how long does that last? A day, maybe a few hours, that's motivation. It's a spark, not a fire. It flares up and disappears the moment life throws something heavy your way. Motivation doesn't hold you together when things fall apart. It doesn't lift you when your heart is heavy or your body is tired. That's where discipline steps in, because discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do, no matter how you feel. It's waking up on the hard days. It's showing up when no one claps. It's keeping a promise to yourself, even when quitting seems easier. Discipline doesn't knock. It waits at the door every single day. It doesn't ask for permission. It expects obedience. It doesn't rise and fall with emotion. It stands firm like a wall, built on grit and consistency, and it's not loud like motivation. It's quiet. It's in the alarm that rings at 5 a.m. It's in the workout when your muscles ache. It's in the hours you spend building something no one sees yet. You might not always feel like doing it, but discipline doesn't care. It doesn't need your approval. It needs your action. That's the difference. Motivation is a feeling, discipline is a vow, and that vow is tested in the dark, in discomfort, in sacrifice. When you're committed, your feelings don't make the decisions, your discipline does. Too many people are waiting to feel ready, waiting for a perfect day, but the truth is that day won't come. What does come is resistance, pain, fear, doubt, and what keeps you going through all that is not excitement, it's commitment. Discipline says, I don't care if it hurts, I don't care if no one sees me, I will keep going. That kind of drive doesn't fade because it's not built on a mood, it's built on purpose. That's how results are made. Not by hype, not by temporary motivation, but by showing up again and again with no applause, no spotlight, and no excuses. Motivation may get you started, but only discipline will take you all the way. Only discipline will carry you through the storm when motivation runs and hides. So if you want it bad enough, build discipline, not just a feeling that fades. Build the kind of strength that lasts. You want to know what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. It's what happens when no one is watching, not the public moments, not the praise, not the applause. I'm talking about those silent hours, the early mornings, the late nights, the days when your body is tired and your mind is screaming to stop. That's where discipline is born. It's not about showing off, it's about showing up. When the lights are off and the cameras are gone, who are you then? Because that's the version of you that builds greatness. That's the version that no one sees, but it's the only one that truly matters. You see, discipline doesn't care who's watching. It's not performing for praise. It's performing because it must, because the goal matters more than the moment. You won't find discipline in the spotlight. You'll find it in the quiet choices, when you close the door and grind, when you walk past comfort and chase pain, when you stick to the plan even when quitting whispers in your ear. Most people want results without that kind of loyalty. They want recognition without the repetition, but discipline, it's different. It's not about hype. It's about doing the reps, following the routine, building a life that isn't built on luck, it's built on grit. And grit doesn't need validation. Grit needs consistency, because real progress happens when nobody claps. Real growth happens when nobody notices. That's where you prove to yourself that your commitment is real. That you're not doing this for them. You're doing it for you, for your vision, for your future. The world won't always see your effort, and honestly, it's not supposed to. Your work doesn't need a witness to be valuable. You're not in this to impress, you're in this to evolve, to rise, to master the small things again and again until they turn into something big. Discipline doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't need recognition. It simply demands that you keep your word, even when your body is tired, your mind is scattered, and your heart feels like giving up. That's why discipline is the foundation of success, not just in what you achieve, but in who you become. So if you're putting in the work and nobody sees you, good. That means you're in the right place. That means you're doing it for the right reasons. The world may not be watching, but your destiny is, and it's waiting on the other side of your discipline. You think winners always feel ready. You think they wake up every day full of confidence, courage, and clarity. No, most of the time they wake up just like you, tired, uncertain, overwhelmed. But here's the difference: they move anyway. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't sit around hoping for the right mindset to magically appear. They understand a brutal truth: if you wait to feel ready, you'll be waiting your whole life. Because readiness doesn't come before action, it comes from action. It's built in the doing, not the dreaming. Winners don't wait for life to get easier, for fear to disappear, or for everything to align. They step into the storm, they walk into the unknown, and they figure it out as they go. The people who win in life are not always the smartest, not the most talented, not the ones with the perfect plans. They're the ones who start anyway, while others are overthinking, doubting, hesitating. The winner is already in motion. That's the key. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite fear. They don't wait for a feeling to give them permission. They create their own momentum by doing the hard thing, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels messy, even when it feels like they're not ready enough, because they know progress lives on the other side of fear. It lives in the decision to take the first step, to trust the process, to believe that growth comes through the work, not before it. The truth is, most people never start. They spend years in preparation mode. Planning, waiting, wishing, but winners, they act, they fail, they learn, they evolve. That's how they rise, and every time they feel fear, they use it as fuel, not as a break, because they know deep down, you will never feel fully ready to do the hard things that matter. And that's okay. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to be willing to try, willing to fall, willing to rise again. So the next time that voice says, I don't know if I'm ready, answer it back with action. Take the step, show up, begin before you believe, because winners aren't born in comfort. They are built in motion. They don't wait. They walk into the fire, and that's where they become unstoppable. Pain doesn't mean you're losing. It doesn't mean you're weak. Pain is proof that you're stretching beyond what's comfortable, reaching into the parts of yourself you've never used before. And discipline is what takes that pain and turns it into something useful. It transforms struggle into strength, wounds into wisdom, and pressure into power. Anyone can run when it feels good. Anyone can smile when it's easy, but it takes something deeper, something unshakable, to keep going when every part of you is hurting. That's discipline. It doesn't just survive pain, it uses it. It whispers, keep going, this is how you grow. And in that moment, when most people quit, the disciplined keep pushing, not because it doesn't hurt, but because they know that every ounce of pain has a purpose. You see, pain is part of the price. There is no breakthrough without breakdown, no growth without grit. Discipline teaches you not to run from pain, but to work with it, to use it like a hammer that shapes you. It says, feel it, but don't fold under it, because on the other side of that burn, that exhaustion, that emotional weight, is progress, real, lasting progress, the kind that doesn't come from comfort or convenience. It comes from refusing to give up when things get ugly, and that's what discipline does best. It turns chaos into clarity. It says, I will show up even with the pain, especially with the pain. Because it knows that pain is temporary, but the result, what you become because of it, that lasts forever. Most people think the goal is to avoid pain, to find the smoothest road, but winners, they know better. They know that anything worth having comes with a cost, and they are willing to pay it, not once, but every day. Because discipline teaches you how to suffer for the right reasons. It teaches you how to hurt in a way that heals. It makes pain not just bearable, but valuable, because every drop of sweat, every setback, every sacrifice, it's all building something. It's not wasted, it's not meaningless, it's momentum. So when you feel the pain, don't panic. Don't stop, let it sharpen you, let it mold you, because discipline doesn't run from discomfort. It rises through it, and in the end, that pain will become the very reason you made it. That pain will be your power.